What's up everyone, here is AhkTaar, welcome back for another hero guide, and in this video I'm gonna talk about the epic hero LOMAS. So, LOMAS is one of my favorite epic hero in the game at the moment. He deals a lot of bleed damage and can provide a lot of debuffs to help your team deal more damage, inflict more debuffs, etc. So, he is an attacker with a blue mark and from the Nameless Brotherhood. He is insane for this faction. I'm gonna show you that right after. So, let's talk about his skills. On the ultimate here, he is gonna hit 8 times the target with a 35% chance in total to inflict 1 layer of bleeds, up to 8 bleeds in one attack. Also, if you have the third exclusive here, after you deal some damage, he triggers up to 6 layers of bleed at once, and so he can inflict a lot of damage using this ultimate. This is great, because you don't need to have bleeds on the boss when you launch this attack. It's gonna deal the stages of attack, inflict the bleeds, and then trigger the bleeds. This is insane. Let's talk about his passive. He has a 90% chance to inflict 1 extra layer of bleed every time he's gonna inflict a debuff on enemies. And you're gonna see that with the basic and the second skill, he has a lot of debuffs to apply on the target. Also, every time he's gonna inflict a bleed on the enemy, he's gonna get a tier buff on him, and every tier increases the bleed damage by 2% up to 10 layers, so he can get up to 20% bleed damage bonus during a fight, which is pretty nice. And it comes really fast because he can apply a lot of bleeds with his skill. Second skill here, it's an AoE attack. You have some chance, 50% normally, something like this, 30% chance to reduce the defense of the enemy, of all enemies, by 30%, and 30% to inflict a bleed. That means in total with this skill you can inflict one bleed, and if you lower the defense of enemies thanks to the passive, you are gonna inflict another bleed, which is pretty interesting. If you have the first exclusive here, it is gonna increase the chance of reducing defense and inflicting bleed by 20%. This is why I was saying 50%. 50% chance to reduce the defense and to inflict 2 bleeds in AoE, which is pretty nice. First attack, awesome for an epic hero. He has some chance, 50% chance to reduce the resistance of a single target by 25% and his speed by 20%. And this is 2 attribute debuffs, so if you are using the basic attack, if you can inflict the resistance debuff and the speed debuff, you can also inflict up to 2 more bleeds on the target. Even if they already have these debuffs on him, the target will still get the bleeds when it is trying to apply it, so it is pretty nice for an epic hero. Let's summarize the exclusives. The first one, he's gonna have more chance to reduce the defense and to inflict an extra bleed using the second skill, 20% more. This is great. Second exclusive, he is gonna buff his own bleed damage every time he's gonna inflict some bleed, up to 20% more bleed damage during the fight. And the third exclusive here is the best one. He can trigger up to 6 layers of bleeds when he launches the ultimate after inflicting the bleeds on the target. This is great. So in terms of stats, this is what you want on him, a lot of attack, but first you want a huge amount of effect hit, otherwise you won't be able to inflict your debuffs. Now remember that on your skills you have only 50% on the basic attack and on the first active skill to inflict the bleeds, so the less chance on your skill, the higher the amount of effect hit you need to be sure to land the debuffs. So 122% is not enough, but remember that using the basic attack he can reduce the resistance of the enemy by 25%, so it helps a lot. And then finally you need a lot of mastery to deal more dot damage. So let's talk about the gear I have on him. Let me push myself to the right. So this is what I have on him. 1 accuracy set. This is a set you can forge or craft, and this is an effect hit set, basic one. So you can use on him maybe an attack one early on. If you have some with a lot of effect hit and mastery in substats, it can be used. You can use the effect hit one here, as I'm doing. If you have a lot of mastery and attack rate, it could be way better. A mastery one, if you have a lot of effect hit on it, it can be great. But the gear I recommend to use the most is this one. This is the best one to have on every daughter in the game. It increases the mastery and the effect hit. Every daughter needs that. Only Lucia doesn't really need that because she has a lot of chance to. She's guaranteed to land the debuffs on her ultimate, so you can use this one on her. But this one is not optimal on him because he needs first effect hit. So the best one to have on him is this one. You can also use this one if you have some, but I recommend to use this one on your support in priority. But if you have some like this one with mastery, attack rate or effect hit, it can be useful on him. He's gonna get some speed and effect hit. So let's talk about my own gear. Here I have an accuracy weapon with some effect hit and speed, which is pretty interesting. Here an armor with some effect hit, speed, really nice, but effect resistance and a healing effect are not great. Here boot speed with some mastery and effect hit. You don't need crit damage, crit rate or defense, etc. on him. And finally I'm using a 5-star accessory but legendary one with some attack flat, mastery, which is nice, but the crit damage and crit rate, you don't need that on him. Finally, on my artifact, the only you need to use here is the mastery one. If you don't have some, or if you have a good attack one with some mastery and effect hit on substats, you can use this one instead. It's gonna be great. So this is what I have on mine. Effect resistance and HP are not great on him though, but I have a bit of attack flat and effect hit. Here, second artifact, effect hit in priority. I'm using only a 5-star one because I have a lot of attack rate, mastery and some speed, so this one is great. If you don't have effect hit ones, you can use an attack one if you have a lot of effect hit on it, otherwise it's not a good idea. So here, let me see what I have. Maybe I have better to put on him, but I don't think so. This is why I'm using this one. And finally, on the last artifact, I'm using a speed one. And this is important. You want your DPS to have a lot of speed, more than the waves. Waves in dungeons, level 30, have 1600 speed, so you want to have more than that. So, I have some effect hit and mastery. Crit damage is not great, defense rate helps him to stay alive longer. So that was all for the gear. Let me push myself back to the left and let's have a look to the emblems. This is what I'm currently using on him, so everything to increase his attack and dot damage, mastery, and the defense tab in order to get less dot damage, etc. But maybe this one is not the best one. Let me change it just a bit. The first one is the best one to use on him. He's gonna get more effect hit and so more chance to land the dots. This is important. Using this one, he's gonna be more tanky if he has a shield, so it helps a lot. And using this one, he can get his cooldowns back earlier. So yeah, this build in Emblems is better. In terms of aura, I'm using this blue one at the moment. It's a good one, but it is not the best one. This is an epic unit, so yeah, you want to put a mastery, a blue one on him, but the best one to use on him would be this one in order to increase his effect hit. The more he has, the better, and also he would benefit from the attack bonus here to deal more dot and direct damage. But this is a legendary aura though, so I'm not sure that this is a good idea to put that on an epic unit. This is all he needs in terms of aura, or maybe you can use, if it is the second daughter in your team, maybe you can try to put this one on him, so he is gonna get more mastery and he is gonna increase the mastery of your other heroes. This one is also a good one to use on him. That was all for the introduction. Now let me show you some gameplay in dungeons. So this is RUM 31. I'm using this team, Catherine, to provide the consolidation, the shield and the counter attack, and some heals. I'm using Ben Austin to pursue the target, inflict more dots and more direct damage, and more often the speed reduction and the resistance down thanks to the basic attack of LOMAS. Also, I'm using Freak here in order to reduce the attack and the crit damage of enemies, which is really important, and to apply an extra shield and heals on my heroes, and the taunt for the waves and the provoke thanks to the pursuit also of Ben Austin. And my AhkTaar to increase the attack of my LOMAS, so he's gonna deal more damage, and also to control waves, which is really important. So let's run the fight and see what happens. So this is the first wave. All my heroes pursue the target, so now I can control them. They are all controlled. Attack down, crit damage down. Now I can use only basic attacks in order to keep my cooldowns and kill them. Look at the damage from my LOMAS. This is insane. He is such a great unit. And in RUM 31 and above, you need bleeders in order to deal some more damage on the boss. HP burnings are not working super well here, so yeah, you need some bleed damage. Okay, so they have the attack down and the crit damage down. Only one remaining, he's gonna die, and plays to the boss fight. Here, AhkTaar is important, so he's gonna control Nezakma. Otherwise, Nezakma is gonna steal the buffs on my heroes, and I want to avoid that to happen. So the goal here is to kill her first, and then normally they should focus on Nezakma here. Okay, it wasn't the case, so maybe it's gonna fail this time. Okay, I have the buffs on my hero, so no, it worked. Perfect. So as you can see, the boss has resistance down 1, 20% and speed reduction 20%. And this is great, and this is thanks to LOMAS. 10 bleeds. 5 bleeds remaining, 7 bleeds now. I have the attack buff on my LOMAS. I'm taking some damage, but thanks to Freach and the buff coming from my Catherine here, I can stay alive with my heroes. Do you see the bleed damage here? This is only an epic hero. He is such an amazing hero. And this is over. 1 minute 49 seconds using LOMAS. 40 million damage. This hero is a crazy hero. He is such a good one. I love him. I love him. So let me show you some content in the Faction Abyss now, because I'm currently farming the auras for my Lucia, and so I'm using my LOMAS here on this kind of team here. So I have Dustin to protect my heroes. He provides a shield, some heals, lower the attack of the enemy sometimes by 20%, but he is more here in order to protect my heroes with the shield and the heals. I'm using Ina. She can provide, thanks to the first exclusive, the consolidation 2 on my heroes. This is mandatory for this high amount of stages here, high level in dungeon. Freach, same comment as before, to reduce the damage of enemies and apply more shield and heals on my heroes, and the taunt also, which is pretty nice, and Lucia in order to deal more damage. So let's run the fight and see what happens. Crit damage down, attack down on them. Okay, he stole my buffs, but it's okay. I have the taunt, I have another shield. So for now I can tank. I increase their cooldowns. My Lucia is stealth, so she's not gonna die here normally. They can't focus her though. She has a lot of leech, so she self-heal after killing Nezakma. And the first wave is almost done. Okay, so normally I'm farming the stage 24. I don't have a 100% chance to win this stage here, but still I have a lot of chance, so maybe it's gonna work this time. Freach is an amazing hero in this faction too. With the taunt, enemies are forced to focus him, and so my other heroes can stay alive longer. Look at the damage coming from Lomas. He is such an amazing hero. Okay, boss wave. So now I'm gonna apply the consolidation, reduce the attack and the crit damage, and I take 0 damage. This is such an amazing team. Increase the cooldowns. Now it's time to inflict some bleeds to try to kill a carried as fast as I can, and now I try to focus on the boss. Okay, I lost Lomas. This is not a good run. Probably it's gonna fail. Because normally I need my Lomas here, but stage 25, you know, it's pretty hard. Even in manual, it's pretty hard. So as you can see, I can tank because of all the buffs and the debuffs I have on the enemy. But can I deal enough damage without Lomas? I don't think so. For now, it's working. 7 bleeds on the boss. 3 bleeds. I have the buffs. Yeah, as you can see, I can tank so easy with my, thanks to my Freak and my Ina. They are just crazy heroes. Perfect, so the boss is almost dead. And so it's working. Okay, I lost Lomas. He is great and I wanted to showcase him to you here. But yeah, let's try on the stage 24 in order to see. Can I stay alive and deal some damage with my Lomas? Okay, so far it's pretty nice. 5 bleeds to the left. Thanks to Lomas. Okay, only Carried and the boss remaining. Carried is gonna die, only the boss remaining. Perfect. I have the consolidation too, and now place to the boss fight. Speed down, thanks to Lomas. This is great. To have a speed reduction in Faction Abyss, this is almost mandatory. So I can tank, and I can inflict more bleeds and deal more damage. Okay, I was horrified, so he couldn't use his ultimate to kill the boss, but did you see the damage? He is already dead. He is already dead. 2 minutes, the run. 14 million damage. Lucia is a mythic hero, full exclusives, with a lot of gear on her in comparison. So he is doing pretty nice for an epic hero. So that was all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If it's the case, as usual, please like, comment and subscribe, and then see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Infinite Magicraid. Play to slay.